In March of 1975, Whina formed Te Matakite, a land rights organisation which united a wide variety of people angry over the continued loss of Maori land. At a meeting at Mangere Marae, Whina challenged them to come up with a plan of action. Vivian Hutchinson, a young journalist then, remembers.
It was quite a large meeting on the marae itself, and I remember tremendous frustration with the issues being placed on the marae. She asked people to come up and place their take or their issues on the marae. There was the Raglan land case, there was the Ngāti Wai land case, there was the Bastion Point land case, and a whole continuing stream of different issues facing the people at that time. And there was a whole series of just quite frustrating events of how they just weren't getting anywhere with the whole issue.
Town and country planning, public works,
Whina added to that sense of frustration by listing the various acts of Parliament which had taken land out of Maori control, but offered no solution about how to get it back. Then over lunch, Vivian had a conversation with Joseph, Whina's eldest son.
I suggested to him that the idea of a land march should take place where people go from the top of the country down to the bottom. It would take about a month. And I said to him, by the time you get down there, all eyes will be on this issue. Well, Joe took this idea to his mother, who really didn't make much of it at the time. But later on the marae itself, Graham Latimer was there, who was the president of the New Zealand Maori Council. And he'd heard all these take or issues before. He stood up and said to Whina, what's going to be different about this matakere thing? We've heard the stories, we've heard the frustration, why have you got us here? And much to our surprise, Whina just got up there and then and said, well, I'm going to march.
We are marching to Parliament and no more land to be sold.
Whina convinced Maoridom to support the land march by personally visiting every marae, just as she had done in the days of the Maori Women's Welfare League, explaining, cajoling, humouring.
But of course, when I'm gone, oh well, I hope that I look down and still pray for them. If I get up there, I'll never let one pākehā come up there anyhow.
The march began on September the 14th from Te Hapua, on the top of the North Island. It was more than coincidence that this was also the home of the then Minister of Maori Affairs.
Wellington, here we go.
From day one, the sight of an 80-year-old Maori woman walking on Parliament with her 3-year-old granddaughter had New Zealanders spellbound.